Good morning, my beautiful boys and girls. This is Miss D. I haven't seen you in a while, but we are going to do a summer reading time with Mrs. D. And we have our furry little friends here. Today's story is very interesting, but I'm sure that you will enjoy it. It's called Good Little, Bad Little Girl. Good Little, Bad Little Girl. And the author of this story is Esther Wilkin, and it's illustrated by Eloise Wilkin. Once there was a good little girl and a bad little girl. They both lived together in the same big house. The good little girl was neat as a pin. The bad little girl was not. The good little girl would jump out of bed the minute she heard Mommy call. The bad little girl would cover her head and pretend she heard nothing at all. The good little girl always dressed by herself. She put on her own shoes and socks. The bad little girl cried, "My socks are too small, and my shoelaces tied all in knots." The good little girl ate her dinner quite slowly and washed her hands and face before. The bad little girl gobbled hers in a hurry and then looked around for more. The good little girl said her prayers in the morning. She said her prayers at night. The bad little girl forgot. The good little girl said please and thank you. The bad little girl did not. When Mommy had guests, the good little girl would stand quietly by. In a nice little way, "Excuse me," she'd say, "may I go out to play?" The bad little girl wouldn't wait for a lull. She'd burst right into the talking. She'd whine and she'd cry, "I want to go out." You never heard such a squawking. The good little girl loved her own pretty clothes. She loved all her dolls and her toys. The bad little girl thought her friends' pretty things were very much nicer than hers. When Mommy said no, the good little girl found something else to play. The bad little girl began teasing and whining and screaming to have her own way. Now here is a big surprise. The good little girl and the bad little girl were the same little girl. She was like the little girl who had a little curl right in the middle of her forehead. When she was good, she was very, very good. But when she was bad, she was horrid. And here is a secret the girl found out. If you would be happy, if you would be wise, open your ears and open your eyes. Make the bad little girl grow smaller and smaller. Make the good little girl grow taller and taller. And that is what she did. And when she was a good girl, she was a happy girl, and everyone was her friend. The end, boys and girls. I hope that you've enjoyed this story, The Good Little, Bad Little Girl. Until next time, this has been Story Time with Mrs. D. Keep on smiling, boys and girls, and stay safe. Bye-bye now.